Hey guys, and welcome to another product overview video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sonible's Smart EQ2 and see whether or not it's worth the price of admission. So currently this is on an introductory price because this is their update to their original Smart EQ, and I think it works out in the UK about £76 or something like that for this EQ. Now you might be wondering, why would you want to spend money on another EQ if you've already got one? Say for example, if you've got something like FabFilter or UAD or Waves or whatever, why would you need to invest in another EQ? Well, what makes this one different to all the other EQs out there is that it uses artificial intelligence, the old AI, and it's actually very clever. In a nutshell, what happens is you put this EQ on whatever sound source you want, and then when you play it back and hit this button here, the Smart EQ will listen to the source and figure out how to best tonally balance it by using its AI algorithms. And it does, honestly, a pretty good job. I was quite surprised, actually. I tried the demo out first because I was a little bit skeptical, but it wasn't long until I actually purchased it afterwards. And just to demonstrate its features and how this works, I've created this very short little orchestral thing using orchestral tools Inspire, a couple of East-West brass patches, and also Red Room Audio's Saga, just for one of the drums out of there. You'll have to excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit today. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to play this to you without any of the Sonible Smart EQ on first, and then I'm going to show you how this product works, and then afterwards I'm going to show you the whole thing with the EQs on, which I've already used from Sonible. Bear in mind there is a limiter on the end of the track, and there is a little tiny bit of East-West Spaces 2 reverb on some of the channels as well. Okay, so that's just the raw sound of the samples for those libraries. Now, let's first show you how this puppy works. So over here on this strings whole ensemble patch, I'm going to load one up here. Okay, at the moment it's doing nothing. What I can do is, use this as a normal parametric EQ and do some EQing. But obviously you guys want to see the AI in action, so here we go. I'm going to click this button and play it back, and you guys can listen to what it's doing. Let's bypass it. So you can see it's actually, working out how to tonally balance the string patch here. And it does a pretty damn good job. I mean, there's different profiles up here, which I'll talk about in a second. But it listens to the sound source, and you can see it just works out the curve. But it doesn't just stop there. So you've got this green node here, this green curve, and what this will do, you can drag it up and down, and this will control how much of the AI curve that it's figured out is applied to the signal. So you can go really extreme, or you can do it very subtle. And if you drag it this way, what it will do is actually show you what it's cutting. So if we play this now, that's what it's cutting out, those frequencies. And I have to admit, it does sound nice. I mean, it's done a good job there of making it sound less boxy. Now, let's say, you've got that curve, but you want to do some fine tuning to it. Not a problem. So these EQ curves that I was talking about before, when you use these actually also interact with the AI curves, so you can really fine tune, you know, this curve, and then you can still use the green node to control the amount. I mean, obviously there's a difference in volume there a little bit, but you can hear the difference, and it's pretty impressive actually, how this manages to do it. So just taking a closer look here at the different nodes, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different EQs, 2 of which are disabled, and these are by standard the low cut and the high cuts, but you can also change these to, you know, different curves if you want to. So you've got your bell curve, your tilt shift, high shelf, low shelf, and then high cut and low cut. And obviously you've got all the standard controls like the amount, the decibels of, you know, you want to reduce things or boost things by. You've also got the Q factor, and this also does mid-side processing as well, and you can easily switch between mid, side and stereo just by clicking on this here. And you can also solo the bands if you want to listen to what they're doing. And then this little arrow, if you click this brings up more controls for the actual mid and side. It's like a different panel of dealing with things, and you can choose different curves. Also down to the right you've got your output gain, and you've also got your mid-side balance. So if you want to make the whole thing mono, or if you want to add more side to it and less mono, you've got that control there, and by default it's always set to 50/50. In the top left we've got, let's start here, we've got, you know, the zoom factor if you want to be 24 decibels, 6 decibels or 12. You've also got a built-in frequency analyzer for this, so you've got pre, post and both, and if you hit both it will show you here the before and after. And you can also click on, if you want to view the average, you can also click average and it will hold the average peaks for you there, which is great. You've also got your preset you can save, and you've got an A/B as well. But over here you've got profiles, which is very interesting. So these are cellos and low basses that are playing in this patch. What you can do is, by default it loads up with the standard profile. Okay, so if I just load one of these, you'll see here, this is the standard curve it worked out before. Now if I go to cello, it's got a completely different curve. So if we play it back now and hit the record button again, this is going to recommend this sort of curve for the cellos. Okay, and you've got different things for different instruments. So you've got violins, violas, trumpets, trombones, saxophone, stuff for drums, speech as well. It hasn't got everything on there. One thing I would very much like to see by Sonible is more profiles included for different instruments, which would be very interesting. But overall it does a very decent job when you select these profiles and you let it do its thing and listen, you know, to the source and work out what the curves are. Now over in the settings here in the cog, you've got some more controls for the analyzer, but you've also got this control for the smoothing. This is something that you probably miss if you have this product, but it's also something very useful. So you can actually control the amount of smoothing for the curve that it generates. You can turn it all the way off, or you can turn it all the way on, up, you know, so you can find your own balance with that one. So all in all, that's pretty much this EQ in a nutshell. The controls are very simple and allow you to just kind of crack on with things. What I want to show you guys now is how this sounds in context. So obviously before we've got the this little piece where it's got no processing on, and then the after I'm going to show you. All I've done, there's no compression, there's nothing else. It's just purely Sonible and a little bit of reverb on the brass and on the drums as well. And I've also got an instance of Smart EQ2 on the master bus here. So I'm just going to select all these, and then we're going to do an A/B just by enabling all these, and you guys can hear the difference. So I think you agree it actually does a very good job. I mean, this literally took me 5, maybe 10 minutes just to set this up, write that piece, and then just slap these EQs on. And all I did was use the standard profiles for most of them, apart from the some of the strings. I think I used the profiles associated with the instrument, and just did some minor tweaks just by dragging the nodes around. But literally, I got that sound in minutes, which is what this product's about. It's about getting from A to B quickly. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there. Okay, so this isn't going to be one of those EQs that indefinitely destroys every other EQ out there and renders it completely useless, and this is the only thing you're going to use. But this is definitely one of those tools that is very, very useful, especially for composers that just want to forget about the sort of technical side of mixing and get a good sound quickly. And allow them to crack on with composing. I mean, it's a very good tool for that. On the whole, though, it does a bloody good job, I think, and it's definitely worth taking a look at and maybe making a purchase while it's currently on its introductory offer. I'll put a link down in the description below. I got this from Plugin Boutique, which is a great website, by the way. If you don't have it bookmarked, they have a lot of offers on there for things. You can get up to like 90% off some stuff, so very much worth taking a look at. And if you're unsure about this EQ, just download the demo and try it out, guys, and see what you think. I think you'll like it. Thank you for watching the video, and be sure to subscribe and check out some of the other videos on the channel if you're new to the channel as well. And I'll see you again next time, guys. Thank you for watching.